Well, good morning. How are you all today? I'm going to be kind of quiet because everybody else is still asleep. It's early in the morning, only my second cup of coffee. I want to talk about making your own way and how important that is and how it can be done. Many of you know, many of you have done it. Many haven't, and I think I want to talk a little bit about that, the importance of it. And I don't know how much we'll get into. We probably won't get to warn you here. We might not get into the details because I have something else coming up that I'm going to do concerning that. But a lot of people don't understand that while the details are interesting and the details important, the overall understanding and the overall desire and plan and mindset is at the very base, is the very foundation of doing whatever it is you want to do, whatever you set your mind at, and it's the same with preparing yourself to make your own way. I thought about doing this. Maybe I should put this in here. No, I won't. I'll save that. This was brought to mind by a comment that I got from one of our highly valued patrons over on the Patreon channel. If you're not with us, the link is down below. We'd love to have you. We cover a lot of stuff over there that we don't on YouTube. And I invite you and welcome you to if you're not with us yet. And we just have a great community, by the way. It's not just me. There are so many other people. They're very knowledgeable people, very smart people. I learn a lot from them. And I thank all of them for it. They really are the ones that create that community over there. But one of our patrons left a comment, and it was in response to the one that I made the other day when we came into Big Cedar, and I was explaining it is a development by Johnny Morris, and he's the one who started Bass Pro. And I'll just say that he started Bass Pro in 8 square feet of a back corner of his dad's liquor store on a little card table, I think, selling fishing lures that he had made himself. That's where Bass Pro started, and that's where then he developed all of this, all of Big Cedar. He developed Dogwood Canyon. He developed Top of the Rock. He bought out Cabela's. The story of Bass Pro and Johnny Morris is just amazing. But that one of those is what brought our patron to leave a comment over there, and it said, well, it may be an inspiring story, but look into what happened to the town of Sidney, Nebraska, when Bass Pro bought out Cabela's and shut down Cabela's. So I did. I wasn't familiar with it. Well, apparently what happened, don't worry, we're getting to the point of making your own way and the importance here. This isn't a story about Bass Pro, it's about a story about people. And it's a lesson about how people need to prepare and take care of themselves. So apparently, from what I got, and I didn't make a deep dive into this, but it's the same thing that happens so often in corporate America, the corporate world. Okay, businesses, people just need to understand that businesses are in business to make money, either for the owners or the stockholders. Okay, I know it sounds cold, but that's the way it is. I never started it, well, I took care of my people very well, but I won't get into that. So apparently, when Bass Pro and Johnny Morris through Bass Pro bought Cabela's, they shut down the distribution center in Sidney, Nebraska. Now that employed, I think at the time I read it only cost about 150 jobs, but at one point, through stores or distribution centers, whatever, there were 2,000 people employed there. So through the process, a lot of people lost their jobs. And that's horrible. That's devastating. That I feel very badly, as I'm sure you do, for the people who lost their jobs. But that decision was made as a business decision. It wasn't done to hurt those people. And they looked at it from what I read, and they found that this distribution center was the lowest volume in the whole system. It was superfluous because when you buy another company, you say, well, okay, what are they doing that we already do better, or whatever, and we're going to cut out the fat, because that's the first. It's not just. Well, it's the first responsibility of a business is to make a profit, because if they don't, they go out of business and then they can't employ people. Okay, I won't get into that. This isn't the place for that. But a lot of people lost their jobs, and those were very bad. And I'm sure that those people hate Bass Pro. It's just the way that people are. They don't see beyond the immediate way that it affects them. So I was very glad to get that comment. Does it make me feel badly about Bass Pro? No, not at all. This is business, and this is what people need to understand. Does it make me feel badly for the people who lost their jobs? Certainly. But here now comes the lesson. Many of you know that Kelly and I lost our jobs, very good jobs, with a major hospital system over the you know what, right? It came, and we'd been there. I'd been there almost 13 years. She'd been there 12, and we had very good jobs. And when they wanted us to do that, we said no. Now, we were able to get religious exemption from it, but then they want us to take the test, and we refused to do that because we felt it was discriminatory. And it just wasn't right. We said we wouldn't. They said, well, then you don't have a job here then. And we said, well, I guess we don't. And it cost us, I don't even want to tell you how much money it cost us a year, but it was substantial. Now, people will say, well, that's different. You had a choice. Well, you can say that. It wasn't a choice in our mind because we wouldn't do it. They said, you got to do this thing that you don't believe in, or you don't get a job. Have a job? Well, that's not a choice. That's a principle. Okay. These people, I have no idea whether they were given opportunities to work somewhere else or not. And even if they were, I don't know where Sidney, Nebraska is, but it's probably a very small town. And if they were given an opportunity to drive somewhere else to work, they probably felt they didn't want. I don't know. A lot of things go into these. Here's the point to this. People in preparedness are very big, and they I don't want to make this sound diminishing, but they talk a good game about being independent. But too often that independence. Well, let me put it this way: a lot of you all are out there, and a lot of people in the preparedness sphere, as it were, have developed the ability to live separate from these things. But a lot of people haven't. And a lot of people are still kind of splashing around in the shallow end of preparedness, not understanding that one of the greatest aspects of preparedness is to separate yourself from an employer, a job. Because that's really, if somebody has that over you, they own you. Now, the reason that Kelly and I were able to, say, tough, take that job, and you know what, well, we had prepared. We had plenty of other income streams. And I'll be real honest, we're doing better now than, well, I don't know. It doesn't matter because I'd be measuring in money, and that's not really the greatest measure of the quality of life, is it? But we were able to because we had prepared. And this is what I want a lot of people who may not understand. And here again, I say I know a lot of you do understand this, and a lot of you have already done it. You're living this life that I'm talking about. But too many don't understand the importance of developing financial independence. And what does that mean? That means not relying on an employer. Okay? Not relying on a job, but building your own income streams. Whether that's one big one, and I don't suggest one big one because you never know what could happen to take that away. But a lot of little ones. Don't be the river, be the tributaries. All the streams that go into the river. If something happens to that one stream, if it gets blocked up, if a tree blows down in it and dams it up, if a cow falls in it and rots, you're not dependent on that because you've got plenty of other things coming there. Now, some people will say, well, but the people in Sydney, Nebraska, or the people here, or the people there, or I, or my brother-in-law, or whatever, just can't do that, to which I will respond, you can't do it because you're telling yourself you can't do it. And if you tell yourself you can't do it, you won't do it. So there's nothing that I can do to help the person that thinks like that. But if for all the people who would like to be financially independent, and that is let me put it this way, how about financially prepared? Would that be good? Financially prepared. Just understand that this is just another aspect of preparedness, and one of the most important, because it allows you to do all of the others. Does that make sense? Later today, so my advice is develop that. Now, whenever I say that, I'll get comments on here about, but I don't know, but what should I do? But I don't know what I can't do that for you. I can't do that for you. If you need someone else to think for you, it's not going to work. You're just not there. You're not going to be able to do it, and that's sad. So you might think about, and here again, I'm not talking to many of you, but I would say to the person who thinks like that, that's what's standing in your way. That's the thing that's standing in your way. This idea that you can't whatever. Okay, I can't. And that's the difference in the world between the people who say I can and the people who say I can't. Because the people who say I can, the next thing they say is I will. And the people who say I can't, the next thing they say is I won't. Okay, so that's one of my favorite sayings, is the difference between success and failure is the difference between a strong will and a strong won't. Later on this afternoon or tomorrow, I'm not sure, we've got a lot to do, and I've got a lot of relaxing to do, and I've got writing to do, and I've got I don't know if I showed you this the other day, and I've got editing on the new book to do, and see, I'm always doing. But I'm going to announce a new channel, and I won't tell you what it is right now, but I've come to realize that there's a need for another channel that comes at the financial preparedness aspects in a somewhat different way, and I'm really getting tired of hearing all the people who whine and moan and complain about, I can't, I won't. Hopefully, I tell you what, the people up there that lost their jobs in Sydney, Nebraska, and here again, I'm sorry about that, but they probably fell into this idea that that things were always going to be the way that they were. I'm sure that when Cabela's brought in and built their distribution center, because I've seen this. I've seen this in small towns. This is the greatest thing that ever happened. Now we've got great jobs and everything, and everybody's quality of life just boomed, I'm sure. But see, it's kind of like, it's like they say, a government that's powerful enough to give you everything is also powerful enough to take everything away. Well, a company or a business who is big enough to give you a great standard of living is also big enough to take it away. And you have no control over whether that's going to continue to stay there or not. And so I'm sure that, it not just devastated those people, but it probably just wiped out the town, because of now all this money isn't coming in. It's not just the people that worked there in the distribution center. It's the grocery stores, it's the gas stations, it's the drug stores, the hardware stores, all these kinds of things. But that's what comes from putting all your eggs in one basket. And hopefully there were some people out there who looked at it and said, well, this is a good job, but I'm also going to build things on my own, because and if anybody did that, they weren't wiped out like the rest of the people when Bass Pro shut that distribution center down. Hopefully they did. Most people won't, I'll be honest, and that's why I'm going to announce this new channel, because it's not going to be for everybody. It's going to be for the few who actually want to do something about their lives instead of just want to complain about how bad things are. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. I want to thank our patron. I won't name them. I want to thank them for sending me that information, because it gave me the chance. It made me realize the necessity of making this video here. So guys, that is so important, and I know that I'll have a lot of comments on here from our people who have done it and already understand it. It is so important not to put your future and your financial welfare in the hands of a business or a company, because they don't care. I mean, they may care, the people might feel badly if they have to let you go, but they don't care enough to you are not their priority. You are not their priority. A profit is their priority, and refusal to understand that is what causes a lot of people problems. And it does not make a business bad for wanting a profit. That's the purpose of a business. But your priority is your welfare. And your welfare is your responsibility. So, for anybody who needed that little talk today, get out there and get started on something. If you work for somebody, think about what can you do for yourself. Is there a little business you could get started? Because big businesses start off as little businesses. Remember Johnny Morris starting off with a card table in the corner of his dad's liquor store and selling some fishing flies that he made himself. And it became Bass Pro and Cabela's and Big Cedar and everything else. Okay, guys, you all have a good day. I'm just going to continue to enjoy this day. I hope you all are enjoying life as much as I am. And if you're not, I hope you'll do something so that you soon will. Okay? Remember, we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I'm going to write some more. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.